Well, because you were the young one, and you didn't know that they were all making deals on the side, did
No,
you?
I didn't. I
All
didn't.
those
I
guys were a
didn't
lot
care
older
that
than
they.
you.
I knew everybody was being looked after, but I just didn't have some. That's not why I was there.
Right.
I was there for the experience, and it was a learning thing for me, and a door opening place for me. I didn't know.
So when that first happened to you, and you go back to Hurtwood, right?
Yeah, we went
Well, I
back.
bet weren't you up all night long, all excited?
Oh, we were excited. Eric was excited,
Like suddenly,
and then we
you're starting
started
this.
picking up the guitars and writing songs and stuff. It
What was,
all
it,
started.
what was the
happening.
first thing that you guys wrote
I Looked
together?
Away.
That was the very first
That
thing
was
you
the
wrote
very
together?
first song.
What prompted that song?
We just said, let's write our own song so we don't have. He said, I'm tired of playing all these Cream things and I don't want to play all this old stuff, and so we'll write our own songs.
So how did the
Rather
idea
than-
"I Looked Away" come about?
He had he played me this guitar part. He had this. He said, "This is, I guess, would be a good one to start with," and I could play guitar, but I didn't play right. I played G like the wrong way,
Like a girl?
like a girl. And I didn't want to say that, but yes, like a girl. And he showed me. He said, "No, man, play it like this, and then you can go to here to there to there." And so I went upstairs and learned the part. The guitar part for
Where do the words come
and
from?
then
Where did the idea come from?
and
"I
the
Looked
next
Away"?
day we sit down in the living room, and it was just a fantasy, just it was all a fantasy song. Wasn't about anybody in particular.
Just
Just
pulled
made
it out
up.
of the air.
Just pulled it right out of the air. As that same
And then
place
when you
where they
finished
all
that,
come.
were you all like, "Whoa, what a great song"?
Yeah,
here."
we just thought that was great. And
Wait a minute, didn't it have the same verse happen again? And
it was kind of a backwards song. We didn't want to write songs like verse, chorus, solo, verse, chorus, out. We wanted to do things a little bit different. So it started like a kind of backwards. She took my hand and tried to make me. And I don't know. It depends on what you call a verse and what you call a chorus. But it was rather an unorthodox song, and it all fit. It all fell. We didn't have to go looking for anything.
it's so interesting to me the way Eric puts stuff together, chord-wise. It's so different from anybody I've ever heard, and it's so different, and it's very distinctive. And,
Like Layla. I mean, you go from these different there's movements, is what it is, and I guess that's why we work so well together.
because you're very straightforward. You're very straightforward. So you guys did make a good
with
blend.
all movements.
So you recognized immediately that you guys could write together.
Absolutely.
And when did you
And
go?
the second song was Any Day.
And when did you write that?
It was like the next day.
Really?
Yeah. So
And
we
what
started.
prompted that, and what's the story
We just
behind
started
that?
going through. What we were doing was going through all the guitars and tuning up the different tunings, and pretty much broke all the strings on every acoustic in the house except
Right.
a couple of them.
So did you have extra
guitars.
strings, or what happened?
No. We just go to another guitar. We were trying all these different open tunings, trying to open C, open G, open this, open that, and then landed on this D modal open D thing, and Eric just fell in with it, perfect for Any Day. He just started playing it.
Where did the idea of the song itself, the Any Day,
Don't know.
the lyrics, anything like that? You don't
It just
know?
came out of the air because it wasn't about any particular girl, or it wasn't about Patty. It wasn't about anybody or anything. It was just a fantasy.
Right.
And then the next day, that day we were all up all night, and then the next day we were playing around in open E.
Right.
And Dwayne had showed me open E, and I was messing around with these chords that were backwards, and it all kind of started. It sounded like a Rolling Stones thing, and Eric said, "I'm going to bed. You got this one." And then he went on upstairs, and I wrote "Tell the Truth," the first two verses and the chorus, and next
Well,
morning.
we know what that was about.
Yeah, the
because
next
you're just
morning.
talking about your experience there,
Yeah,
pretty much.
and the next morning, I mean,
hear
I could, the whole world was shaking, you know, I could feel it, you know.
Right.
New dawn was breaking. I could see it out the window of that place over the English countryside. And he came down the stairs for breakfast, and I said, man, I wrote this great song. He said, I know. He said, I got my part through the floor. I'd forgotten that he was right there, and I was singing all night long, and I broke into our little bag of goodies, and so I was up wired tighter than a Gibson.
Right. And so then things kind of die down a little bit, or did you go straight into something else?
No, things kind of died down, and then it wasn't too much longer. We wrote Roll It Over. I mean, we could just name talk about anything, and why does love got to be so sad? We were just talking about, you know, guitars and cars and girls, and he said, why does love got to be so sad anyway, Bobby? And then it just all happens. And it would flow. It would go right into something.
Right.
Kind of like walking through a door and into another room.
Did it ever just sort of stop at some
No,
point?
it never did. And when it did stop was when all the drugs came into play.
But that wasn't till...
That was long after we were come back off the road, you know. And we'd already recorded.
Why did the drugs suddenly just take over? I mean, you guys
drugs
were doing
have a way of doing that. That's just the way heroin works. It becomes first.
Was somebody supplying you guys with drugs or what?
Well, Lord, no. But those kind of things, if somebody did, you wouldn't say, yeah, and his name is such and such.
now I feel like an idiot. Okay, so.
Well, you've never even smoked weed, so, you know.
I did once.
Yeah.
I feel like an idiot now. Okay, forget that.
Yeah, drugs aren't good to talk about. Unless you're talking about Jim Gordon.
What?
Well, unless you're talking about Jim Gordon, because that was the root of his whole problem, was too much dope. I mean, damn, you know, it's one thing to get high and you know, have a few drinks and carry on and party at night.
I forget why.
That's another thing to throw down and go get psychotic with all that shit, you know. I mean.